would be very troubling.
We have no problem with that.
So that's agreed. All right. So, I'd like to hear what the witnesses finds out from his spouse. I guess my concern is, it's always something we're trying to balance things. The news crew has a right to be here and film what's going on in the courtroom. The defendant has a right of confrontation. Typically, it's face-to-face, but it's not hard and fast. The witness indicates there's stress on his life, and he's worried about his security of his family, and it's a balancing of all those things. So I don't know where this came from or how it was obtained. I don't know how you got a hold of the picture in the first place. You're saying it's on a Cash App?
So yeah, all you have to do, her phone number is listed, and when you put her in Cash App, the picture comes up.
Cash App is what?
So Cash App is similar to Zelle, Venmo, so it's if I want to send you money, or better yet, if you want to send me money, you have a Cash App, you send it to either my phone number or to my email, whatever I have set up. And most people do have pictures there. It is open to the public. Cash App is not with Venmo, you can actually make things private. Cash App does not. So everything you do on Cash App is in the public domain.
Yeah, it seems a little concerning and troubling if they'd be looking at the witness's wife and family with the intent to cause them some sort of harm or to intimidate them in any way.
Well, I resent that, first of all. We have a right to confront the accuser. They made a representation that turns out to be incorrect. So, quite candidly, I resent any implication that we're trying to put anyone in danger. Quite to the contrary.
Now you'll be in recess. When you want to step out, find out, if he's able to find out that the information will be in recess.
What a disaster this is. I'm here with psychologist Dr. John Delatorre. I can't tell what I'm more upset about. That the idea here, I assumed, and I tried to look, I'm not going to lie to you, I tried to look online for Detective Danny Polo to see if there were any pictures. I mean, other than him testifying, and I think it was the XXX Tentacion trial, you could see just him wearing the mask. Couldn't find any photos of him. The fact that there is a Cash App that's being used by his wife and his photo is on it, I imagine, he said he had no idea about it. I imagine that's going to be a tense conversation later. But also the fact that we even know about it. Should this not have even been broadcast and put on the record? Because I feel like if this is really a safety concern and his identity is an issue, why we know his name, now we know his photo, where it can be found. What do you make of this?
Yeah, at this point now, I don't know that we really needed him. Now, this has been a fascinating exercise in understanding the G-Shine network as it stands there in Broward County, but I don't know that we necessarily needed it. As a police and public safety psychologist, I would have to tell him that he's never going undercover again. This image is out there now. Open source intelligence, operational security, all of his cases that he has open right now, he's getting pulled out immediately. Just now that we know that there's an image of him, anybody can find him, and he's now in more danger than he was had he just shown his face from the entire beginning. So I don't know that we've learned anything new about YNW Melly from his testimony so far, other than we just know what G-Shine is and how they are.
Well, last week he did mention YNW Melly a few times and tried to explain his connection, the language that he uses in messages, certain statements that were made. And I think that it was more so last week than than what we're seeing today. But, in a case where the defense talks about how the prosecution and law enforcement engaged in a sloppy investigation, I don't want to be critical, but it seems to me, didn't the prosecution know that this was going to create such a big issue? Could they not have found a different expert in this field where identity wouldn't have been an issue?
I think so, right? Maybe the captain of the gang.
You see it? The record reflects the presence of the defendant, Mr. Devins, his counsel, and his state attorneys. Yes, so where are we at, Councilman?
Can you put me up first?
Sure.
got robbed, so we wanted to see his family dining around him. So I was like, I thought he was with, let's say he was him and he was gone, that guy's not with me, so he was going to find out who he is.
We back. Let me change this up real quick. I got some stuff for y'all today. This is crazy. The bananas. I don't know why this. Oh, buddy. I don't even know what happened today, man. All right, quick update before they come back. I don't know if you guys remember when I was telling you guys about the DEA agent that had his mask on. Wanted to continue to keep his mask on throughout the proceedings because he didn't want anybody from YNW Melly's camp to know who he is. Because with a lot of blood members, obviously the people that are there probably most likely going to be associated with Bloods. Anyways, long story short, homie didn't want to put his mask out. So the YNW Melly fans, they wasn't having that. They just wasn't having it. They was not having it. And this is the crazy part about having such an influence. They were not having it. So the YNW Melly fans decided they was going to do their research. They found this dude's wife on Cash App, of all things. They found this dude's wife on Cash App, of all things, and figured out where he lives. They know his name. They know everything about this DEA agent that was trying to hide himself. So then that goes public. Everybody starts freaking out, you know? What is this dude going to do now? He might as well take his mask off. I mean, at this point, everybody knows who he is now. They got pictures of him. They know where he lives. They know what his wife looks like. This dude's never going to be able to be an undercover agent again in his life. This is point blank, period. Ain't no way. Yo, thanks to everybody who's sharing right now. I appreciate y'all. Truly appreciate y'all, bro. I spend a lot of fucking time going into this shit, finding shit out that maybe other people don't even focus on. So I appreciate you. Anybody who's sharing, liking, subbing to my shit, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But anyways, long story short, so this whole thing explodes with this DEA agent. You know what I'm saying? Where they find out where this dude lives. They find out, pretty much, who his wife is. They find out everything about him. So now they coming into court and they're complaining about it this morning. And he's like, well, then, I mean, if everybody knows who you are now and your video's out there and, everybody pretty much ran up on you now, you might as well take your mask off because then it gives my client, not a perfect trial, but a fair trial. He gets to look at his accusers. He gets to see who they are. He gets to, then the defense could build up, whatever we feel is incorrect from this person or inexperienced from it, whatever the case may be. I guess a facial expression tells way more than we can think, right? So, and mind you, they're live in the back. They're just on some kind of break or whatever. And I think they coming back at 2:00, and I'm gonna take a quick break after this too, after I explain that to you. So then, after this DEA stuff goes bananas, right? After the DEA shit go crazy, guess what happens? Someone leaks a video of YNW Melly snitching in an unrelated case to this one. Okay? It's just plain and simple. Video don't lie. They asked him about a situation. He told the Fed at that time in the video, dude pulled out a gun on me. It was a 38 special. They go to my school. They're in my classes. And this is the dude's name. It has nothing to do with this case. But someone from the prosecution leaked that shit. I don't care what nobody say. That case was so old. I mean, bro, like, the defense didn't go looking for that. I could tell you that right now. The defense didn't want that leaked. But regardless, someone in the prosecution, she playing dirty now. Someone in the prosecution leaked the video of him snitching. So now what? Now Melly can't go back into jail without clearing that shit up. Now the defense is like, my client got to go in there and risk his life now because they putting out stuff that's unrelated. Well, he can't really prove that it was the prosecutor, but he's saying, where would this have come from? It isn't going to come from anyone from Melly's side of the world. So it was clearly from the prosecution. He insinuated that. Obviously, the judge doesn't play insinuations and shit. You know, he kind of like threw that away. But that's what's been going on so far. Here we go. Oh my God, it's loud as hell. Oh no, they not back, bro. Anyways, oh, they're back.
Welcome back to Law and Crime. So we're waiting for day 8 of the double murder trial for rapper YNW Melly to start up again. 24-year-old Jamel Demons stands accused of killing his 2 friends back in October of 2018. The trial was on a recess while Judge Murphy decided what to do about undercover detective Danny Polo and his mask, a continuing controversial issue. It has been decided that he will take off his mask when they return to finish up his testimony.
Well, everybody
However,
knows what he looks
we will
like
not be
now.
showing his face at all. And as we wait for these proceedings
Bro,
to
even if
continue,
y'all don't show
I want to
his
listen to
face.
some of his testimony from last week. So putting aside his appearance, let's listen to the substance of what he had to
Come on,
say.
you guys already went through all this.
Is there a special
Let me turn this stuff down a little bit. You guys already went through this with his explanation of the gang members and what he is and what he does and how many times he's done it. I'm not gonna make y'all listen to that all over again. But this dude is funny because, like, at this point, everybody knows who you look, what you look like. It doesn't matter whether they show you or not on trial anymore. You are, bruh. If your sole job was to be private, hidden, undercover, and never to be seen, you should have never took this stand. Period. Because you knew it was gonna happen. It's too big of a. Yo, YNW Melly has fans everywhere. Any of these dudes could have checked it. Come on, man. It's bananas. All right, we'll get you back. We'll get you back to live. Apparently, they're going now. They're about to start. We still have no sound though. Shoot your questions in the chat, man. I want to know what y'all think about that. I want to know what y'all think about that. Did the prosecution put out that video of YNW Melly snitching, bro? Yo no sé, papito. Yo no sé, papito. You about to see. All right, well, it looks like they're coming back in 5 minutes. I will be back. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be back. We will narrate all this stuff for you. See you in a few.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the presence of the defendant, his counsel, the assistant state attorneys, our witnesses on the stand. The jury is ready. All ready to proceed, counsel?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bring in the jury, please. Jury entering. Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the presence of our jury. Defendant, defendants, his counsel, the assistant state attorneys, our witness remains on stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust you all had a nice lunch. You were able to stay dry. It's raining out there, but many of them we're ready to proceed. And we left the statement still on direct examination of the witness. Counsel, if you're ready, you may proceed.
Yeah. Okay, Detective, we had talked about and shown you what's been previously marked as states XXX for identification purposes only. Was that a document that you reviewed prior to coming into court today?
Yes.
Does that document fairly and accurately depict the conversations between the 9807 phone number and an individual identified as Bang?
Yes.
You're at this time the state is requesting to state XXX in and publish.
Any objection?
Objection on grounds for years.
Stephen, come side over.
Triple X will be marked state 71.
You have permission to publish?
You may.
Thank you. Detective Polo, starting on page 1 out of 57 on this, is this first text. If you could read that out loud, please.
This Bang hit me up real quick. HM hit me up.
Okay, and so this conversation is between an individual that's labeled as Bang and the 9807 phone number again?
Yes.
And I want to go forward on this. So in terms of starting at through here, in terms of the message here on September 6, 2018.
Yes.
What is that message say?
What page we got?
Page 4.
G shit question mark.
Okay. And the response from the bang message is what?
Shit, yeah. Hey, you beefing with that in green dude?
And what is the response?
I don't even consider it beef. And word cap.
And in terms of the word cap, is that used in any specific context in these messages?
Yeah, capping just means like he's not taking it serious. It's just, you know, they're talking trash to each other.
Okay. In terms of the word slime, again, do you see that in the messages on page 5?
Yes. That's how he refers to the subject.
Okay. And I believe again back on, no. So going forward to September 19th of 2018. What does the person identified as bang ending in 5054 say?
You got a case?
7.
Ready?
Yes.
At the studio, what's the knowledge blood?
Okay. Going forward to the bottom of page 8. The last word in this message on September 20th, 2018, 6:28 p.m. What does that tell you about the person composing that message?
The person is continuing to use blood-related language by taking out the C's and using either B's or other letters. In this case, it would be a B.
Okay. Now, on September 23rd, 2018, there's a page or a screenshot of a Instagram or social media page that is sent. What is the message that's asked?
It's you, blood.
And what's the response?
Hell no. Fan page. Send a pic to me though.
And in terms of the picture that is sent in return on page 10, that is, and for the record, States Publishing has been previously admitted as State 62. In terms of the middle message here about you back in Louisiana, is there, you mentioned regional differences in the way individuals in gangs work. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about the Louisiana, New Orleans set of the Bloods?
So, East Coast Bloods operate under the UBN, but for some reason, and it's not really something we've been able to tell, is Louisiana Bloods don't fall under kind of like the same structure as the other gangs within the UBN. For some reason, Louisiana Bloods will claim their hoods, their neighborhoods. So instead of repping G-Shine, GKB, something like that, or Nitre, they'll just rep a hood that they're from. So if they're from 40th Avenue and Baton Rouge or Holly Grove in Louisiana, then they'll rep those hoods. And there might be Bloods from those hoods, and that's what they rep, instead of falling under the major UBN alliances or sets.
Okay, so going on to page 12, the individual that's been identified as Bang in the messages, what does he say?
I just made it back to Baton Rouge.
And then the next one?
Excuse me. Just checking on you, blood. Be safe.
Okay. Going down again to another message on the bottom of page 13 from the individual labeled as Bang. What does he say?
Says, laughing out loud. You on the move, blood? I like that. You be motivating me.
And that was in response to a question from the 9807.
Right. He says, damn, I'm gonna be in LA.
So I want to go through the 9807 number on page 16 for Defense Counsel at 10/13/2018, 11:16 p.m. Has that same SLAT, S-L-A-T-T. Is that something that you've seen all through these messages?
Yeah, it's commonly used blood call out, like blat, slat, brat.
Okay.
Just things that they say. So you know someone's a blood, or you're talking to a blood. You're supposed to use the lingo as we've previously discussed, as it's stated in the Bibles.
Okay, going into, again, still page 16, moving down to the message of October 13, 2018 at 11:17 p.m.
The 9807 number states, in North Carolina, getting ready for this show. Obviously, he's taking up the C in North Carolina, replacing it with a big B. Bloods.
And then the response from the 5054 Bang number.
Says, oh, I'm about to head to Gotti's concert at SQL. I was just checking in on you, blood.
Okay. On page 17, October 14th of 2018. Can you read that one and then explain what it's meaning?
9807 number asks, you know someone selling a glizzy? Glizzy is a slang term for a Glock.
Okay. Then continuing on to the next page on page 18. What is the 9807 asking at, again, October 14th, 2018?
He again asks, without putting a question mark, but any gun, basically saying, I'll take any gun.
Okay. Going on to October 26, 2018 at 4:45 a.m.
Okay.
Can you read this specific message and I'll make it a little bit bigger.
What page?
Page 20.
3220 Southwest 192nd Avenue, Miramar, Florida, 33029. I'm on my way right now, blood.
Okay. Going down to the 9807 messages on October 26, 2018, 44611 and 44619. What does the 9807 number say at that point?
On this one?
Yes.
Alright, bro. Ain't nobody picking up.
And then the next one?
Shit crazy, AF as fuck, right now, blood, what the fuck.
Okay. And in response to that, what does the number identified as Bang 5054 say?
Bang responds, I'm on my way, blood, I got you.
Okay. And in terms of the locations or anything like that, you did not analyze any of that data?
No.
Okay. Going on to October 27th of 2018, 3:22 a.m. What does that say?
You good, blood?
And that's coming from which individual?
Fredo Bang.
Okay. Again, the 9807 phone number at this point says on October 27, 2018, 3:25 a.m. a response?
Hell yeah. Appreciate everything, blood. I love you.
Continuing on to page 22. Again, the 5054 Bang, Frito Bang number says what?
I love you too, blood. I'm I told you I'm just a phone call away.
Going to the 9807 again, it's 1027, 3:37 a.m. What terminology and how is it used by the 9807 phone?
First send this blood again.
Okay. And the last message on 10/31/2018 on page 22 with the use of the word slime again.
He says I already bought it, slime.
And the response on
No.
the
Go ahead. Sorry.
And
He
Melissa?
states, love you, blood.
that's at the top of page 23. Going on to page 24, what does the 9807 phone number say out?
The album Ride in Blood, no cap.
Continuing on October 31st, is there another blood reference by the 5054 Bang?
Yes. Just continues to use blood.
Again, at the bottom of page 25, does the 9807 use slang or in terms of endearment associated with the blood gang members?
Yes, same use of the word blood.
Based on your review of these messages, would you categorize Frito Bang as a member of G-Shine?
Not based off these messages.
Okay. Continuing on to page 27, November 1st, 2018. What does the number associated with Frito Bang state to the 9807 number?
Just calls out him, calls him blood.
And in response to that, what does the 9807 state back?
What it is, blood.
Going down to page 29, 11/2/2018, 4:30 p.m. What is this text message say from the 9807 phone number?
States Dolly and Dora, blood. That's her brother.
And again, the 9807 phone number on page 30 on November 2nd, 2018.
Says, damn, do your thing, show your ass, blood.
Okay. And then on November 2nd, 2018, 5:46 p.m. on page 31.
Yeah, I'm a sprinter, blood.
On page 33, on November 2nd, 2018, 9:16.
Bang, calls out to him again, states blood.
And the response from the 9807 number?
Slap.
And then again here on page 34, the first message appear on November 12th from the Frito Bang number.
Just says Brid, like he's telling me he's home, he's at the crib.
Okay. And then on the response from the 9807.
I think he meant to write where you at, but it says WYO. So WYO, blood, I'm finna hit the studio.
Okay. And then continuing on, 9807, does it use another slang term for associated with blood?
Same continued use of the term blood.
Okay. Again on November 13th, the top of page 35.
Yes.
Another use of that terminology?
Yes.
Okay. Going now to November 13th, 2018. On this specific message from the 9807 phone number, what does it say?
condo.
And what is significant about the way it is spelled?
There's no C in it. You put a K, same thing. You know, just replacing the C's with a different letter.
Okay. And again, on November 14th on page 37, on the word location, what is done at that time?
Does the same exact thing. Send location. He's going out of his way to take out the C's and put B's in.
Okay. The response from the individual identified as the 5054 Frito Bang number.
He sent his contact location.
And then I'm sorry, down here at the bottom, 11/15/2018.
He just responds or calls out saying blood again.
Okay. Again, on now page 38, from the 5054 Frito Bang number.
It says, send that bitch blood.
Okay. Again, on page 39, from the 5054 number,
Blood again.
and the response.
Slap.
Continuing on page 41.
Still got nothing?
At the very
Still got
top,
nothing?
The 11/22/2018
Still got nothing,
message from
ladies
the
and gentlemen. They still
9807.
talking about the same old stuff.
9807 states, thanks, happy Thanksgiving, my blood.
Okay, continuing on to November 23rd, 2018.
Again, calls him his blood.
Okay.
What up, blood?
Now the 5054
You
at
good,
the still on
blood?
page 41.
Just backing in
Says
on
what?
you. You heard?
What up, blood?
And the
I'm
response
just
from
backing in on you. You
on
heard
page
me?
41 from 9807 phone number.
Says, you good, blood?
I'm
Just
good, blood.
checking
I'm
on
over here
you.
eating some chocolate bit bookies.
Checking
You
on
heard
you,
me?
sorry. Takes out the C for checking, puts a B.
I'm feeling funny today, so don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for joking. There's a lot of seriousness always in these. Feeling funny today. I ate some chocolate bit
Okay,
bookies.
again on page 43, the 5054 Bang, Frito Bang number, what does it say?
Just reaches out to him, calling him blood.
And the response?
Gang.
I watched this a little earlier. This is the reason why I haven't really been on right now. They were kind of doing this earlier, and then
Again on
this
page
guy
45.
panicked. That's on the stand about his
November
wife
28,
being
2018.
found on Cash
How
App.
does the 5054 number
They kind of shut everything
reach
down for a
out
little
to
bit.
the
Yo, this has been the
9807
crazy. I'm
phone
trying to
number?
tell you, this has been.
Same way back
I've
on
never
the
seen
blood.
nothing like this. This has been probably the craziest court proceedings I've ever seen, bro. And if
The
you were missing it,
9807 number
the-
on November 28,
Holy-
2018, the top of page 46, makes
I'm
a
bombing
statement
from
that
Miami.
says
I'm
what?
bombing from
I'm
Miami,
bombing
bro.
from Miami.
Yeah, I'm
So
bombing,
coming
cuz.
from Miami.
Oh, they don't use cuz. I'm bombing, blood. But listen, did YNW Melly snitch? Why does this keep popping
And
up,
then
guys?
again on page 47,
He reaches out to him, calls him
Did
blood.
YNW
and the
Melly
response from the
snitch?
9807 phone number.
We're gonna get to that
Phones
video
in
right
the other
after
room, blood.
they do this.
Okay.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. It's about to go down. Y'all don't even know what's coming up next. This is all boring stuff. Just wait till the defense gets
Going
on.
on to page
Don't blow your
50,
mind.
on December 11th. Again, a call out by the 5054 number for Frito Bang saying what?
Blood.
And the response from the 9807 number.
What's good, blood?
Continuing on to page 52, the 9807 number says what?
Love you, blood, for real.
Okay, and in response, the 5054 Frito Bang number says,
I don't remember what LLYT stands for. Blood, I'm about to call you.
okay, and the response from the 9807.
Bet, blood.
Okay. December 29th, 2018,
You good, blood?
and the response from the 9807 phone number.
Hell yeah, blood. Love.
Okay. The December 29th, 2018.
Just checking on you, bloody.
And the response.
I'm already knowing, blood.
Okay, so detective, I think the final on this, which just covers through February of 2019. The last on page 56, 50, 54, on January 26, 2019 says what?
Blood. Just blood.
And before that on January 25th?
Love you, blood.
Okay, and the response from the 9807 number?
What's up, blood?
So, detective, did you also have the opportunity to look through photos?
Yes.
I'm showing that's been previously shown to council marked as for identification purposes as state triple Y. So, detective, I'm going to have an opportunity to look through these images.
Colors as well?
Yes, let's start with just the images. Have you reviewed those images before coming into court?
Yes.
Do they fairly and accurately depict images of the defendant?
Yes.
To go now through the reports. Are these some of the images from those same chats and reports that we've seen, as well as others from this particular phone?
Yes.
In terms of the videos that are on this, have you had the opportunity to watch these videos before coming into court?
Yes.
And do they fairly and accurately depict the videos that were on the 9807 phone?
Yes.
Here at this time, the state would request to move states triple Y in and publish to the jury.
Is there any objection?
Same objection as previous one.
States triple Y would be marked state 72.
Submitted.
And that is one USB. So I'm going to start with the videos. So I'm going to put that one there and pause it. The individuals that are identified in this particular live photo / video from the iPhone, do you recognize those individuals?
Yes, I'm like,
Okay, so I'm going to start with the person on the far left in the black shirt.
that's Courtney.
Okay, the next individual in the blue shirt with the green stripe and RS on the front of it.
Mr. Dennis.
Okay, going on across to the person on the far right the photo with the long threads, the gray jacket, black pants.
I believe that's Track.
Okay. Are there gang signs or symbols that are being shown in this particular image?
Well, the colors, some of them are wearing the color red, and then you have Mr. Dennis throwing out GKB with one hand, and the other hand just east side. Those are two signs.
Okay. The Chicago Bulls hat in the background, is that something that's associated with a blood gang?
Yeah, blood gang members typically wear red Chicago Bulls outfits. Mob Pyru, blood gang members typically wear that a little more because it's similar to one of their symbols, which the subject in the white shirt is throwing up. This would be Mob Pyru because it makes an M. I apologize. And then the subject's obviously wearing all red. This is one of the subjects in the picture is wearing almost all red. Mr. Dennis is wearing plenty of red shoes. red highlights on the shirt with some green.
Okay. So I'm going to go forward and publish, and that was, for the record, image_0162.mov. So I'm going to go and publish image_0300.mov.
Yeah, you see that shit, you know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers that shit, hit chill, where I shot some nigga Wiz. See the YW? See the chocolate. BAG shit, man. You niggas, you know the niggas, you feel me? We gonna have full national.
So the individual that's speaking in that video, do you recognize that person?
Mr. Demons.
And last but not least, image278.mov.
No regrets for the shit I did. That also means for the niggas out. Yeah. 4:30 a.m. Never say when.
So Detective Pallone asks, are you a Kevin Gates fan?
Yeah, I'm a Kevin Gates fan.
Are you familiar with the Kevin Gates song 4:30 a.m.?
Yes.
Is some of that last video that we just watched consistent with that lyrics?
Yeah. Variation of the song.
Okay. Does the Kevin Gates song 4:30 a.m. include the lyrics never say when?
I believe so.
Does it say both of them?
Don't think so.
Okay. So continuing on to go through some of the other photos that are now as part of this exhibit. And this is image_1038. Can you identify the individual as Mr. Demons in this photo?
Yes, subject wearing green with the name Melvin written on his tracksuit.
And is he showing
Not my
any,
jacket, sorry.
is he putting up any signs or signals that would be associated with a criminal gang?
Yeah, just the east side.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Going into image 160.jpg. What are we looking at here?
That's a really commonly used blood hand sign, spelled out blood, B-L-O-O-D, using both hands.
And in terms of this image, who are we looking at in this image?
It's Mr. Demons using both hands to throw up the big B's for blood.
And is this the same jacket from the previous photo?
Yes. At least it appears to be. It was a lot more zoomed in.
Moving on to the next image here. What is shown in this photo?
It's Mr. Demons putting a big B up to his forehead.
In terms of the one we're looking at here, image_0194.png. What is this?
That's the same photograph located on the phone, the document forwarded to him.
And in terms of going through the phone, did you see numerous screen captures like this?
Yeah, there's a lot, like more than what I can count at this point. I went through thousands of images. It's a lot of screenshots of FaceTimes with Mr. Demons on the small camera with the camera function to switch the camera, showing that he's the one holding that phone that is screenshotting the picture.
Okay. So going to this photo here, image1.jpg. Are there common handshakes and gestures that are done between different members of Bloods to acknowledge one another?
Yes.
Going on to this image, is Mr. Demmons doing any hand signs in this one?
It's kind of blurry. I can't really tell what he's doing in his hand.
Okay. So I want to go through now these images. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Detective Polo, these images found in open source part of your investigation?
Yes, I found those on, I believe this was YouTube.
Okay. And can you identify the defendant in this photograph?
Yes.
Which one is he?
The subject in the center wearing black with the 5-point star he made with his hands.
And can you explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury why the 5-point star is important to know?
The 5-point star is one of the primary symbols of the United Blood Nation. They use the 5-point star as opposed to people of Folk Nation, Crips, GBs. They use the 6-point star. So the 5-point star is indicative of anyone that falls under People Nation, and then the UBN and or Bloods.
Okay. So I'll go to the next photo here. Is this from another one of his publicly available videos?
Yes, another video that's posted online.
And what gang signs or symbols are shown in this particular image?
It's throwing up the bees, just little bees.
Is there any difference between the big B and the little b?
Just a different way to throw it up, just different hand signs.
Okay.
Just put them together sometimes and throw up a stack.
Okay, and the stack says what?
Depending on what you're trying to say, if sometimes a subject can see an enemy on the street, they know this person's from a different gang, you can throw up his sign, let them know that I'm so-and-so, I'm with this gang, this is where I'm from. Or it could just be as simple as just identifying yourself to another blood, letting them know your blood too.
Okay, and the image that we're looking at here, what is he, gang signs or symbols is he throwing up in this one?
Same thing, it's cut off, but it's the bees.
Okay. And going on to this next one?
Same hand signs, the big bees.
Okay. Again, on this one?
That's the GKB hand sign. It's that right there. It's different.
And on this one?
Big bees. Same ones that from the previous pictures.
Okay. And then on this one again?
Big B hand sign, same one from the other ones.
And this one?
That's another form of throwing up the 5-point crown. It's a variation of the kind of missing finger there.
You mentioned OLA and GKB.
Yeah.
What does this image demonstrate?
This is a well-known GKB gang member. He goes by Big Ola, GKB, that's his handle. This is his screenshot of his social media. As I stated before, Ola is a term used by the Bloods. It means blood. And typically, members of the Blood gang will use some of this language in their handles. And he's doing the same hand sign, the same GKB hand sign, that hand sign right there.
Okay. And the thing written on the back of that shirt?
You shine, I shine, we all shine. It's a variation of the G-Shine motto. I shine, you shine, we shine. G-Shine.
Okay. Another image from one of the publicly available videos. What does this show?
It's Mr. Demons. His hair is painted red, and he's throwing up the bees. Or baby.
And in this particular image, what is it showing?
That's the rapper Trippy Red, who happens to be a Blood, and he's putting a red bandana styled jacket on Mr. Demons.
Okay, Detective Fuller, we've gone through a number of items. In terms of, can you summarize for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about the number of times the defendant admits to criminal gang membership?
Every single one of these videos and photographs that are posted where he's referencing G-Shine, throwing up G-Shine, writing it as basically as the title of his album, and representing G-Shine, those are all admissions. It'd be the same thing as someone walking around wearing a police uniform. They're telling you who they belong to, who they belong, who they run with.
That segues into the number of times where he adopts the style or dress of a criminal gang.
Right.
Can you point out the specific examples of some of the items and photographs and things that were indicative of that?
There was plenty of photographs that I went through on the cell phone extraction where Mr. Demons is wearing primarily red. He also uses the color green, and with that, uses emojis significant to Bloods, East Coast Bloods, like the blood drop, the big B emoji, and the little snake for slime.
Okay. In terms of the hand signs, so there's some of the images that we just went over on that. Also, the associates with one or more known criminal gang members. Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the number of associates
Frank,
you were able to
you
document
was
and show
spot
in
on.
the videos and pictures we just went through?
Like that, spot on.
When I
saying the
was
same thing, bro.
originally going through all the documents and
Who
the
cares
phone,
about?
started identifying
This is why
people off
this
of
is
the
going
photographs.
so hard to say he a blood.
He
Who
associated
cares?
with
Yeah, no one really
many,
cares.
many different Bloods, and I have at least
They've
I want
spoken
to just
about
count
this
the
a
ones that he
million
was
times,
communicating
bro.
with directly. Because the
No one
subject
really
was
cares.
Isaiah Eberhard, who was trying to recruit him into one G-Shine set. There's Gino Derek Dixon, who did recruit him into that G-Shine set. His godfather Stretch, Keith Stevens, sorry. That's a Blood. He's a
We're gonna have a little quick
high-ranking
recap
Blood.
here in a
been
second.
Named
That's
in
for
multiple
sure.
Blood indictments. There's Jaquan Burton.
I'm
Keith
here. I'm
Shine.
watching along with you guys. I just want to give y'all a better view. Let me
And then
sit in
there's
here.
his other associates within the organization that are repping Blood.
Okay.
I don't want to really get into the rappers because
No.
he's a musician.
Okay. So in terms of, has he been observed in the company of one or more known criminal gang members 4 or more times?
Yes.
Okay. The primary activities of G-Shine, what have those been identified as based on your review of the records?
Historically, for the entire organization,
Yes.
Objection to relevancy. Overruled.
You may testify.
so gangster killer Bloods have been known to commit crimes of violence such as robberies, home invasions, homicides, assaults, shootings. They've also been involved in narcotics trafficking, street-level narcotic sales, involved in firearms trafficking, firearm sales, fraud, almost every crime you can think of under the racketeering statute. That's why there's been many racketeering indictments on the gangster killer Bloods.
Okay, so I want to go through on States 68, which has been previously admitted into evidence. is there a portion in this where it talks about what is G-Shine's main goal or activity, or what their role is in the UBN?
Yeah, pretty much on the first paragraph, if I remember correctly, first paragraph of the Bible, specifically the Bible that was sent to Mr. Demons, it explains why GKB was created and for what their purpose is within the gang. And I know I touched on it early on, that they're a set within the blood organization that's known to be the enforcement type, and that's what set tripping is, where they go and enforce against other bloods that are set tripping, not acting accordingly, not following the rules, or just not meeting the standards that they deem to be blood-like, and they detail it in their Bible. So here, the first lines explain how the UBN was created, who created GKB, and then I'll start from here. You had those who proclaimed to be the true and living, and those who perpetrated a fraud. So there's true bloods, and then there was people that were pretending to be bloods. So when the notorious set, speaking about GKB, they're the notorious set, arrived to bring forth unity, structure, and leadership to the nation being the United Blood Nation, right? Within the belly of the beast being where the organization was created in prison, Rikers Island. Now the set has migrated to the streets. So they're no longer in the belly of the beast. Now they've migrated onto the streets, so out to the outside world, and is one of the biggest and most feared sets within the Eastern UBN.
So, Detective Polo, can one gang member kill another gang member in the same set?
Yes.
Can one gang member kill another gang member in a different set or lineup?
Yes.
In terms of the being able to kill someone who's a family member or a friend, does the gang come first, or do friends and family come first?
Everything we've read up to this point, and everything just outside of this, I mean, everything I've read, hundreds and hundreds of pages of blood documents and interviews, it doesn't matter. The main thing, the most important thing to each blood set or each blood clique, lineup, whatever you want to call it, is that blood set. So the collective within the smaller collective, right?
Would one of the items that we talked about, just adopting the criminal gang signs or just the style of dress, would that be enough to say someone is a gang member?
No.
Would lyrics to songs be enough to say someone's a gang member?
No.
Would music they listen to be enough to tell you what affiliation someone was?
I'd be in trouble.
Why?
Because I listen to a lot of different music from a lot of different artists who have a lot of gang affiliations. That wouldn't make you a gang member.
Okay. In terms of, can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what benefit does gang membership offer to an individual?
Specifically to the individual, what it offers is support, power, finances, so financial support as well, not just physical support. Especially if someone is just coming up. If someone already has all those things, then you would want the gang more specifically to be helping you for the power, the purposes of power, the notoriety, the name and the fear that the Blood Nation carries.
Okay. Does homicide or murder specifically help with the standing in a gang?
Yeah, especially, I won't say especially, most of these gangs, one of the main things to do to move up within the gang is to shed blood. So, yeah, killing and violence are major motivators within a gang.
In terms of denying it to law enforcement and that, why would somebody do that if it helps them gain status?
First of all, they're told not to talk to law enforcement. So, although we do have a lot of gang members who allow us to interview them, they're not really supposed to. And it would affiliate them with an organization which is very familiar with racketeering, very familiar with organized criminal cases, because there's been, I can't even put a number on it, how many blood indictments and blood racketeering cases and just blood drug trafficking organizations have been taken down just based off the fact that it started off as a bloods investigation.
Would you say that YNW is a gang?
No.
What is YNW?
Half the time. Initially, most people probably that maybe initially upon looking at it, if that's all you know about them, there's a group of guys that are committing crimes and their name is YNW. This is an example. I'm not saying. Then you might say, okay, maybe the name of their gang is YNW, because as I stated before, there's many neighborhood street gangs, right? They come up with letters, initialism, whatever. You know, the ABC gang, 123 gang, whatever. But after doing research on this investigation, I determined that although members within YNW were members of specific gangs, not every member was a member of a gang, and they weren't all members of the same gangs. So they were just a music collective, and they haven't got gang members in them.
With regards to the victims in this case, did you look and see if determine if they were members of any criminal street gangs?
I did look into it. It's a very minor evidence of their gang association. Obviously, there's videos of them together, the YNW collective together, hanging out, and that's why I don't take the hand signs on their own as a thing, because a lot of times if you're associating with some guys and they happen to be bloods and you guys take a group selfie together and everyone's throwing up a beat, you might just throw it in association with your friends. So like that alone, I couldn't say they were members of any gang. And then I had contradicting evidence from sources that called me.
Well, without getting into any of those, how far back in terms of timeline, did you go back for this defendant?
I went to the beginning of his SoundCloud account.
Okay.
I forgot the year on that. Maybe it was 2015. And then there was a YouTube video of Mr. Demons with his associates back before Mr. Demons was recruited into the Gangsta Killer Bloods.
Okay. And in terms of the time frame on that, was that before that 2015 SoundCloud account?
I believe so.
The photos and things that you've seen with the defendant throwing up some of those gang signs that are on the phone, were those later published to the public Instagram accounts?
Some of them, yeah.
Is there a difference in terms of taking pictures with other famous individuals who are known to be blood associated versus non-famous individuals?
I would say so. I mean, it appears that a lot of blood musicians want to associate with other blood musicians, but it's not, they're all part of different sets.
Okay. In terms of the phone and the information that you looked through, we've gone through about 200 some odd pages of it so far in court.
Right.
Is that all that you went through?
No.
And for the discussions between the defendant and the two victims in this case,
Right.
did you notice any signs or language in their conversations that would be specific to G-Shine or GKB?
None.
What does that tell you as a gang investigator?
That if they were associating with a gang, they weren't the same gang as Mr. Demons. They weren't speaking with each other in that manner as if they were under the same umbrella.
How would you compare and contrast that with, like, for example, Jalen Green that you talked about?
Jalen Green was part of a different GKB set. So was Fredo Bang, and so was Goon, but they spoke with each other using blood language.
Okay. In terms of your work in the gang world, do you only work for prosecutors?
No.
What other types of consultations do you do?
I recently testified I recently testified to say that someone wasn't a gang member. It was a couple months ago. That was on the XXX case, saying that Drake wasn't a gang member. I testified on behalf of the defense on a ZMF gang case. I've been asked by Mr. Demon's counsel if I would consult on one of their cases in Orlando.
Excuse me, I have an objection and a reapproach.
We need a restroom break in any event, so ladies and gentlemen, just put the notepads down, do not discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence, and certainly no research. All right, we'll take a short recess. Thank you. Thank you. Let the record reflect the jury stepped out. Counsel remain along with the defendant and the witness. Yes, sir. You said you want to discuss something?
Yes, that last question. Could I have it read back? Because I was writing the note. Please. That the state just asked.
Question, what type of consultations do you do?
And I thought she asked the witness, somebody said, made reference to the defense team. That's on.
Excuse me, so why don't we do this? Just, Madam Court Reporter, if you would, Ms. LaQuita, just start from where you just read, just read from there on, all right?
Thank you.
The question I just read, read the answer.
Just read it again, the question you read, and just continue any other follow-up questions, any answers in between.
Okay, question, what type of consultation do you do? Answer, well, I recently testified to say that someone wasn't a gang member. It was a couple months ago. That was on the XXX case, saying that Drake wasn't a gang member. I testified on behalf of the defense on the ZMF gang case. I've been asked by Mr. Demon's counsel if I would consult on one of their cases in Orlando. Objection.
That's highly improper. It's not relevant. And I would ask the court, I'm sorry, Judge, I should be standing.
You're good.
And I'm getting tired. Ask the court to instruct, number one, the witness not to refer to the defense team. It was totally unrelated. And I would ask the court to instruct the jury that the last response by the witness is totally improper.
Thank you.
If I may, Your Honor, in terms of the defense voir the witness heavily as to his qualifications and his expertise in this area. It goes to the fact that he is qualified, that one of the defense counsels actually tried to retain this witness to consult on a gang case.
Thank you. In any event, the objection is going to be sustained. I'm just going to tell the jury to disregard the last question and answer, and counsel, you rephrase your question and just advise the witness. I believe it's improper for you to say that the defense is hiring you, because it gives us some aura of credibility that that the jury's going to make that decision on their own. I don't have an issue if you said you were retained on other cases by other defense counsel, but I don't want you referring to this team, whether they retained you or not. I just think that's should be the objection should be sustained. I think it's too prejudicial.
And right. There's just one other issue, we could approach sidebar on that specific.
Sure.
I'm gonna get a cup of coffee.
This was the other picture that was by itself. Right now it's actually a home.
Okay, Gareth?
Yes, sir.